Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting for October 28th, 2014. Our custom is to present an invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance before each meeting being called officially to order. Tonight, the invocation is going to be presented by Reverend Scott Franks from Burnt Hickory Church of Christ in Marietta. That'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to be presented by Deputy Jared Wheeler, who has been employed with the Cobb County Sheriff's Office since May of 2009 and is assigned to field operations. Deputy Wheeler will be assisted this evening by PAC 353 from Burnt Hickory Baptist Church. We're glad to hear, Deputy, a lot of pressure. For those that wish to do so, please rise for the invocation and the pledge.
Let's pray. Our Father in heaven, we pause tonight just to thank you for your love, for your goodness, for how richly blessed we are in this county and in this nation. And we thank you that we can openly acknowledge our dependence on you. And tonight I ask a special blessing on these commissioners. And I thank you, Lord, for their willingness to serve the people of this county in a very difficult task. And I ask that you bless them with wisdom and discernment. Bless them with the ability to listen well, to discern what is true and what is best for the people of Cobb County. And Lord, again, we just acknowledge our dependence on you. We ask that everything that is done here tonight, everything that is decided tonight, is according to your will, that your will be done. We ask this in the name of your Son, and amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Franks. Appreciate you being here with us tonight, and Deputy Wheeler as well. And to the PAC of 353 from Burnt Hickory Baptist Church, we thank you, gentlemen, for helping the deputy with the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'll call this meeting officially to order. Earlier today at our work session, we had two presentations under tab 1 and tab 2. Those will be available on our website shortly for those that wish to review it at that time, which takes us to tab 3, presentations of which are 4. The first is to be led by Commissioner Gorham to present certificates of recognition for assistance in the logos of Green Meadows Preserve and the development of and the designs of logos for the Green Meadows Reserve and Bluebird Trail. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can I have Carol Maget Lewis, Alicia Lent, Brianna Bailey, any of their friends and family to come forward, and the Friends of Green Meadows Preserve, and Eddie Cannon, please, who's the Director of Parks. Please come forward. This is a special evening for us this evening. We have a partnership with KSU on this project, and we've had other projects that we've partnered with KSU, so we're so happy to have everyone out this evening. Welcome everyone. I'm going to give a little bit of a background on tonight's presentation. The Friends of Green Meadows Preserve contacted Kennesaw State University and asked for assistance in designing logos for the preserve. Carol Maget Lewis, professor and coordinator of Graphic Design School of Art, asked her class to meet with members of the Friends Committee and interviewed them as if they were clients. The class then went back and came back with individual design logos, which they presented to the members of the committee. The members of the committee were very impressed with the creativity and overall quality of the work. The final logos were chosen by the Friends of Green Meadows Preserve Board. And this evening, we'd like to unveil that logo here this evening. And if we could have that, please. It's up. And good. We'd like to tonight formally recognize the students and their professor here for helping us with this. And we also have another example of it here And what I'd like to do is read one of the certificates and present that to each one of the participants. And it states, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners thanks you for your time and dedication to help enrich Green Meadows Preserve. Working with the Friends of Green Meadows Preserve, your Kennesaw State University class was instrumental in developing logo and trail marker designs that will have an impact on our community for years to come. These designs will help introduce this unique green space to our community in a vibrant way. Thank you for all of your guidance with this project and for continuing to teach and enrich the lives of our young adults. And this one goes to Professor Marjay Lewis. Thank you so very much. This is to Brianna Bailey. Thank you. And this one goes to Alicia Lent. Congratulations to you all. Would anyone like to make a few comments, whether from the university, the students, or Green Meadows Preserve? Don't be shy. Go on.
I would just like to say how fortunate I have been to have students like these, just always rising to the top. And I'm very, very proud of them.
Thank you so very much. And please, let's gather here. We're going to have a photo taken, I do believe. And thank you for your efforts. Please go up front.
Congratulations. Good job. Thank you. Items 2 and 4 will be combined tonight with a joint presentation by Commissioners Cupid and Ott.
We're gonna have them all come up together. All right, all the folks that are here from Wheeler and Mableton Elementary and South Cobb High, come on up. We're gonna have a big party up here. They're not here to see us. They want to see you guys. Well, I'm going to start, and I know that the folks that are here with the Wheeler group, I have the principal of Wheeler High School, Dr. David Ciprani, and I have Dr. Cheryl Crooks, who's the magnet coordinator. Then I have Stacy Drajowski, the magnet program advisor, and I have Robin Latourzi, the Area 3 Assistant Superintendent, and then Grant Rivera, who's the Assistant Superintendent for Leadership and Learning. So let me tell you a little bit about what Wheeler has done. They recently received the 2014 Georgia STEM Education Award in the category of STEM Certified Outreach by the Technology Association of Georgia and the TAG Education Collaborative. And for those that don't know, STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. As the first certified STEM program in the state, Wheeler Center for Advanced Studies serves as a prototype for other schools. Their school outreach included interaction with 10 schools from 9 districts. By opening their labs, offering tours, and sharing best practices, Wheeler assisted these schools in growing their own STEM programs. For the past 7 years, students, faculty, and parents have spread their knowledge and enthusiasm locally and nationally through the STEM Symposium, STEM summer camps for elementary and middle school students, and robotics outreach events. We are proud of the Wheeler High School community and know these talented students will continue to blossom into our future leaders in science, technology, engineering, and math.
Very good. I am glad to join Commissioner Ott up here to recognize both Mableton Elementary School and South Cobb High School, which both received statewide recognition by the Technology Association of Georgia's Education Collaborative for their outstanding efforts and achievements in support of science, technology, engineering, and math education, which Commissioner Ott shared as STEM programming. Mableton Elementary was honored as the elementary category winner, which is an excellent, excellent honor to have received. In 2012, Mableton Elementary implemented a STEM initiative to address changes in demographics and socioeconomic levels. Now the program is a model for the school district and is in the process of obtaining state STEM certification. Mableton's rigorous STEM program enables students who may not normally experience a challenging problem-based curriculum opportunities to excel. In the high school category, we have South Cobb, which was honored as finalist. South Cobb High is home to the Academy of Research and Medical Sciences, a magnet program for medicine and research. This unique program brings STEM education and career opportunities to students, some who traditionally are underrepresented in the STEM areas. It also provides students with real-world experiences through on-site medical lab and clinics, internships, and capstone research projects, which unfortunately I remember from my time studying engineering in college, just no fun, no fun. So these students are doing rigorous work. We are extremely proud of the students, parents, and teachers of Mableton Elementary School and South Cobb High School. We know these talented students will continue to blossom into our future leaders in science, technology, engineering, and math.
You want to Grant talk?
Yes, please, if we can have representatives from each school speak.
You're in charge of this whole bunch.
Sure. Just to say briefly on behalf of our superintendent, I want to acknowledge all the work, great leadership certainly by our principals, and equally as important, the work that happens each and every day in the classroom. So for the standard you set in Cobb County, but I would argue as these awards prove, a standard you set across this entire state for what excellence in STEM education looks like. Congratulations on behalf of our superintendent. Thank you.
Here, why don't we have the Wheeler folks come on over and we got to do the pictures. Yeah. Here, you guys get to hold that. There, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And if we can have, we'll start off with Mableton Elementary come up here for a picture. Don't be shy. Doesn't have to be one, it can be all.
Quarantine 21 days.
Did anyone want to share any words with respect to the program? No. We got to put the principal on the spot.
We just want to say thank you to the Commissioners Board for recognizing us, and we are very grateful, not only because I have a team that works really hard, but for the community and the business people that joined us to make this happen for our school. Thank you.
Next, we'll have South Cobb High School. We also have with us Dr. Sweeney, who's our area superintendent. Principal Hosey, did you want to share any words about your program?
I can briefly. First, I'd like to thank the commissioners for this recognition. I take no credit for this award. This goes to the hard work of our magnet coordinator, Dr. Imes, and our lead star magnet teacher, Dr. Ellen Katzowitz, and the work that they do to push our students forward every day.
Very good. And this is for you.
Thank you all and congratulations. The fourth presentation tonight will be presented by Commissioner Burrow, and it is to present a proclamation designating November as Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. Commissioner Burrow.
Is anyone else here
Come on up. Don't be shy. Good evening, everyone. I'm here to recognize November as Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. I have Tom Ribsky.
Close. Ribsky.
Ribsky.
It's okay.
Thank you. And
Katie Cole.
Katie Cole.
Lori Davis.
Lori Davis. I'm going to read the proclamation and present it to y'all, and then I want you to say a few words and tell us a little bit about your organization. Whereas, in 2014, an estimated 46,420 people will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in the United States, and 39,590 will die from the disease. It is currently the fourth leading cause of cancer death in the country and is projected to become the second by 2020. And whereas pancreatic cancer is the only major cancer with a 5-year relative survival rate in the single digits at just 6%. When symptoms of pancreatic cancer present themselves, it is generally late stage, and 73% of pancreatic cancer patients die within the first year of their diagnosis, while 94% of pancreatic cancer patients die within the first 5 years. And whereas the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network is the national organization serving the pancreatic cancer community in Cobb and nationwide through a comprehensive approach that includes public policy, research funding, patient services, and public awareness, and education related to developing effective treatments and a cure for pancreatic cancer. And whereas Pancreatic Cancer Action Network and its affiliates in Cobb County support patients currently battling pancreatic cancer, as well as those who have lost their lives to this disease, and are committed to nothing less than a cure. The good health and well-being of residents are enhanced as a result of increased awareness about pancreatic cancer and research into early detection, causes, and effective treatment. Now, therefore, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby designate the month of November 2014 as Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month in Cobb County, Georgia. This the 28th day of October 2014.
Well, I think first of all, commissioners, guests, thank you so much for allowing us to be here. And I think the proclamation says a lot of what I had on my notes here. But I will mention that my associates and I are members of the Atlanta affiliate of the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. There are about 60 or 70 of these affiliates around the country. We are all volunteers. We have all lost someone to pancreatic cancer, and we're very dedicated to a lot of the comments that were read in the proclamation. And we would hope that you would consider helping us in our fight against pancreatic cancer. And Lori, Katie, and I will be in the back here if you'd like to talk with us about any of our steps. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I need to get a picture. Thank you.
Very good. That takes us to tab 4, SunTrust Park update by the county manager, Mr. Hankerson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Board, and I'm here 1 month later to update you on SunTrust Park update. It's going to be brief. Here, as you know, is on board. They've been spending the last month trying to catch up and get involved with the process and pay all changes and change orders and things of that nature. which is part of the normal process, but they've been getting up to speed so that they can advise me as the county rep. The pipelines are tied in. They're scheduled to go to live. We have projected November 1, so I think in the next few days, at least by the first of the week, hopefully the tie-in will be, the pipes will be live. And from that point, they'll be able to do mass grading on some parts of the site they've not been able to touch due to the pipeline, and also to start driving pylons. And that's when I think we will see the activity really pick up on the site. The bond hearings, appeals will be heard in February 2015. I think we had 3 appeals, which I think they'll be heard collectively there in the Supreme Court. We're also working on in-house studies that DOT is working on. Did we have a slide on that, right? The in-house studies for traffic and moving around the particular site. So they also running some different concepts by DOT and looking at the different analysis as well. And DPS has been working with the Braves organization and the City of Atlanta looking at different items. They've been reviewing the preliminary site plans. The fire marshal has been intimately involved with them as well. So there's a lot of behind the scenes activity going on, but I think once the pipes are live, you will see a lot more activity going and things will start coming out of the ground. With that, if you have any questions, I'll gladly answer.
Thank you very much for the update, sir. Is there any questions from the board? We appreciate it. We anticipate come 15 that updates will become fast and furious as we come out of the ground. So
Yes, sir.
one of the big deals was getting that pipeline done. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. That'll take us to tab 5. We have one item from Cobb County Community Development Agency. It's a public hearing. Mr. Johnson.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Dana Johnson with the Community Development Agency, and we are here today to ask you to please conduct and open up a public hearing as it relates to the proposed resolution creating the Six Flags Special Services District for the provision of local government services and facilities in the Six Flags area and the associated amendments to Chapter 114 of the Official Code of Cobb County.
Thank you, sir. And at our last meeting, we passed a resolution outlining the process in which we're going to take, which I assume is on your website, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So we'll open the public hearing for this one particular item to create the Six Flags Area Special Service Districts. Is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against this item? Come forward, please. Ms. Dance. Each speaker has 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ed Richardson. I'm the chairman of the South Cobb Redevelopment Authority, and I'm here tonight to speak in support of creating the Six Flags Special Services District. First of all, I want to thank the Board of Commissioners for voting unanimously 2 weeks ago to approve the resolution, as you stated, which laid out our plans and the process for creating the Special Services District. We certainly appreciate that. As we've mentioned in the past, we believe this district represents a fiscally responsible approach to financing improvements in that area, since the ones that will benefit the most from those improvements are the ones we're asking to pay for them. So with that, we certainly encourage you to vote to approve the creation of the Special Services District when you reconvene in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other speakers? Just on this item. Seeing and hearing none, the public hearing is closed. I believe that's all the action required tonight, Mr. Johnson?
That is correct, sir. No action tonight. There will be a second public hearing and possible consideration on November 11th, sir.
Thank you very much. That takes us to tab 6, our first public comment period.
The first speaker is Tom Cheek. If you would come forward, please.
Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Tom Cheek. I'm here tonight to talk about transparency, open government, and following the rules. And since, Mr. Chairman, your public comments through a spokesman and filings by your attorneys regarding an ethics complaint still indicate that you believe I'm part of a consortium that is against the Braves' move to Cobb. I will clarify my motivation for wanting to have a Board of Commissioners that functions as described in state law and that functions transparently, efficiently, and honestly, whose members are made up of ethical individuals that know how to follow the rules and laws that apply to them. You've publicly stated that I am twisting the truth, when in truth, I could take your public statements and your emails and form a two-sided argument with just your words alone. I want to remind you of the one single issue that drives me to be here, the one single issue that gives me the passion and energy to come before this board repeatedly. It hasn't changed. I want to have the best running medical examiner's office in the United States right here in Cobb County. In order to ensure this is the case, I've personally visited and had lengthy discussions with each of these offices or departments that are highlighted with color. Down at the bottom of the slide, I want to show you how they relate to each other in my mind. This is not an official organizational chart. The ME is not even on that chart yet. But do I have an agenda? Yes, I do. Is the one being portrayed by you and is the one being portrayed by you and your attorneys and spokesmen? It's not at all. I don't know if you remember, but I told you I wanted to fix the ME's office for the next 20 years because no gathering of people in this room will have the understanding that this group has. This is the group that needs to fix it for the next 20 years. Why am I so passionate about this subject? Because I've personally suffered due to the history of lack of oversight in this department, the lack of following basic rules, checks, and balances, the history of not following those rules. And I did over a year of research and found that some families have suffered similar or worse fates than me. So I moved from department to department. The departments are colored green, or the departments I've had personal interaction with and spent hours with. They're the departments that I feel are ready and set to have the right kind of medical examiner's office we need for the next 20 years. I've talked to them personally, and I don't know if I've mentioned, I'm going to mention the county manager specifically tonight. Because when I went and talked to the county manager, I had a briefcase full of issues, a number 10 can full of issues that I was wanting to open up. And I sat down and he had already dug into the subject so deeply that I left knowing that that office is in the right place to do that. I think that at some point we're going to need a deputy, the county manager, because I think Mr. Hankerson is probably pushing 48 or 50 now, and somebody's going to have to learn that job to take his place. But as I move through these departments, and we can kind of scroll up here, I met with these people each. Now we get to a couple of the departments where I've color-coded red, kind of comes through pink here. And as I move through these departments and the associated supervisory offices, if they're running a transparent, efficient, and honest manner while following the rules and laws that apply, I moved on. You and I have only had one conversation. I've sent you emails. You've never replied, but that's okay. But in our one conversation that took place right outside this door, you just finished presiding over a presentation of the audit of the ME's office. You didn't recognize me. I introduced myself and you told me that you were going to we told me what you were going to do about the ME's office. And you said, trust me. I remember the words as if it was yesterday. I read in the paper the next day that you did not intend to do what you told me right outside this door. So I made a note in my folder. It wasn't a mental note. I wrote it down. It said, message changes with audience. Trust level low. Makes decisions by himself. So when I saw a similar set of circumstances where your message changed with the audience and you made a decision by yourself, I took action. Why an ethics complaint? Because I want you to know that someone is watching over your actions and will hold you accountable to follow the rules. My agenda is crystal clear and always has been. You too should be transparent. You should picture yourself as if operating in a glass cube where all can see your actions. It's not just my right to watch over your shoulder. It is my responsibility to watch over your shoulder. When I'm satisfied that this board is operating as the sole governing authority of the county and is operating openly and by the rules, I'll move on to the district attorney. I bet he can't wait to see me again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Craig Harfoot, if you come forward.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name's Craig Harfoot. I haven't been here in a while. I I'm concerned because here we are with another SPLOST, and it still exploits food and energy. And it's inflated really bad these days because fuel went up, and then farming with high dollar diesel, and now food's through the roof, meat, everything. I've stood before you very many times, because this kind of inflation and sales tax on inflation in a SPLOST hurts everyone on fixed income, low income, and those not permitted to work full-time by employers in today's environment. I've stood before you many times and asking that you don't include these things. And it seems like the only way politicians just can't avoid picking that low-hanging fruit. Well, everybody's got to buy groceries. Everybody's got to pay their heating bill and their gas bill and their electric bill. And it's not fair. It's not fair. And what I don't understand is that in this general election, Democrats, they really hate regressive taxes. And this is a regressive tax. And nobody's talking. And you always seem to give the impression that without it, we couldn't have basic county services, police, parks, libraries. But I've sat here and you've defunded these things ahead of time. You take away park funding with the hotel motel tax and build a performing arts center. And then you say, oh, we don't have any money for parks. You do the same thing with libraries in the general budget. And the thing is, hundreds of millions of dollars are spent with the very people that get you elected. Today I pulled the disclosure form for Secure Cobb's Future. Well, I went to the state to get it, on state ethics. It wasn't there. It should have been there, but they filed it wrong. They filed it with Cobb County. So anybody wants to see it, it's at Cobb County, but it shouldn't be. It should be at state ethics. That's an ethics violation right there. And basically, they've collected $85,800. And what made me look for it is I got a 2-page glossy in the mail. And I know those things cost big money. And I was guessing around $75,000 if they mailed them to everybody in a general election. And they had $72,000 left, but they didn't show they spent that yet. They only spent some signs. What's interesting, though, a lot of people thought the Cumberland CID gave them the money. But no, it's the contractors, the vendors, Croy Engineering, Atlanta Communities. There's some names here that I don't know who they are, but like when Sam Olens ran and you've run, they didn't bother to fill out the occupation and employer section. That's an ethics violation. And they would have to fill those fields out if they filed it at state ethics. They couldn't leave them blank and hand them into the office like happens here at Cobb County. And then there's this revitalized Marietta, 24,000. Who are they? What are they? And Atkins, Pond and Company, Geohydro, Walton Communities, 5,000, Veracity, 2,500. I'm just skimming through this because I don't have time. Moreland Elodie, 10,000. Long Engineering, 300. Braves, $10,000. Wow, what a surprise. And Baldwin Paving, $10,000. You know what? We got the best government money can buy. But that's not ethical government. You're working for the donors. You're not working for us. We can build a lot more with a lot less. $1.5 million to rebuild 3 shacks on Hyde Farm? It's insane. Boy Scouts, a resaw band mill, $50,000, and we could reproduce them exactly with donated logs that we cut the exact dimensions and build them just like they built them back in the day. But no. And it's sidewalks. Johnson's Ferry Baptist Church. Some trustees, cement, forms, they went up in a week.
Thank you, Mr. Harfoot. The next speaker is Ben Williams. Ben Williams.
Good evening, Commissioners. I want to spend my time bringing to your attention again issues that we brought to you. Honestly, my name is Ben Williams. I live at 5307 Elsie Lane, Mapleton, Georgia. One of the founders of Citizens for Government Transparency. Some months ago, we brought to the attention of the Board of Commissioners concerns that we had about one of your creations, and that is the Board of Ethics. And as we tried to do almost a year ago in bringing to your attention matters of concern to us regarding the board's behavior and the coming of the Braves to Cobb County. It appears as though those concerns have found their way to some side place on the table, and no attention has been given to them. So tonight, I'm here to make a special appeal that the board takes a look at those issues. The Board of Ethics needs your help. It is unfairly burdened by a code that really places upon it, at least that appears to be their understanding, that one who appears before that board must come armed with documentation that a crime has been committed. If you look at the research on ethics, I mean, it is very clear that one can be lawful and also commit a breach in ethics. It also appears that if the Board of Ethics is bearing the burden of having to adjudicate whether or not a crime has been committed, that seems to be some usurp of really responsibility and authority of courts of law. I know most people, if they wanted consideration for adjudicating a crime, would find the appropriate court that's already established to go to and to have that matter dealt with. Canons of ethics are very different from canons of law. I've done an open records request, and I suspect that a part of the problem that our Board of Ethics is dealing with, few, if any of them, have had any real training in ethics, and consequently defer to opinions coming from lawyers rather than professional ethicists. I'm asking again that the board take a look at, serious look at, what it is we brought to your attention many months ago. And let's help out our Board of Ethics so that it can, in fact, functions in a manner that there are no appearances of conflict of interest, that they are well trained to do the important job that they're established to do, and clearly someone who is a professional ethicist should be their point of reference rather than an attorney. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
The next speaker is Rich Pellegrino.
Good evening, Rich Pellegrino, Mapleton, Georgia. First of all, I'm speaking personally about, and the reason why I'm wearing this shirt, which is not easy to wear, I will tell you. and not an easy stance to take from me because my commissioner, who I respect greatly, as well as the whole body, is in support of SPLOST, I know. Okay. But I feel that you're in support of what SPLOST can do for the community, what it can do for the lesser among us, which I feel the same about. And so I pledge, whatever happens, whether it's voted yes or no, to help get those programs funded creatively, however we can do it. I make that pledge as a citizen here. If it's voted down, to help get those programs funded. If it's voted up, to make sure that money benefits all of the people. Certainly, if we've been creative enough, the chairman and the commission, to fund a private billion-dollar organization with $500 million of our money, the Braves deal, then we can be creative to fund whatever, public safety, library, and busing. So that's my personal spiel. This is not the position necessarily of CGT, Citizens for Governmental Transparency. They have a clear purpose, and I'll now wear that hat. Their purpose, or our purpose, at Citizens for Governmental Transparency, is transparency. It's not against the Braves. Just as Mr. Cheek said eloquently, he has a clear reason that he wants transparency. And I will read to you from a statement that I'll submit for public record tonight from Citizens for Governmental Transparency about that. Cobb Citizens for Governmental Transparency, CGT, is a group of organizations representing a diverse cross-section of Cobb residents, which for a year has publicized the flaws in the deal to move the Braves to Cobb and the lack of transparency in its implementation. The CGT views the recent decision of the Cobb Ethics Board to launch a full-scale examination of Chairman Tim Lee's actions regarding the deal as vindication of its year-long campaign, warning that the deal virtually invited abuse and needed greater public oversight and involvement. Chairman Lee, in our opinion, has lost the public's trust because of his apparent malfeasance, and we will urge the Ethics Board to proceed speedily with a thorough investigation. And I'd like to make the full document as public record. So, again, piggybacking on what previous speakers said, the ethics process and the Ethics Board needs strengthening, restructuring, but as CGT, we want to praise the maturing that we've witnessed in the process. This is the third complaint. The first two complaints had equal merit to this complaint. However, they were summarily dismissed because of what Dr. Ben Williams said, that they used the standard of canon of law rather than ethics. Now we see with Mr. Cheek's complaint that they are maturing in their application of the Code of Ethics. And we want to thank them, but still call for restructuring and training, as Dr. Ben Williams just mentioned. And to piggyback again on Mr. Cheek's statement, transparency is what we care about. As we have pushed for transparency through this whole process, and we've had to pull it like pulling teeth, and it was only through the assistance of the media, and not the local media at all, but the metro area media, that all of these revelations came to light. Once you have transparency and it shines light, hopefully you will find that things have been done correctly. Unfortunately, in this case, it appears that there have been mistakes. And I'm not holding anybody, including Chairman Lee, accountable for making mistakes. If we don't make mistakes, we're not doing anything. And I'm sure Chairman Lee, in his heart of heart, as the other commissioners, felt that this whole deal, and feels that this whole deal is for the benefit of the people, because I'm sure all the commissioners care about the people that they've been elected to serve. So what I'm calling for, what CGT is asking for, is just a clearing of the air.
Thank you,
Let's
Mr.
admit
Pellegrino.
mistakes have been made.
Your time is concluded.
And resolve them. Thank you.
That concludes public comment.
Thank you. That'll take us to tab 7. There's one item in the consent agenda that we want to move to the regular agenda, and that would be item number 18. That'll be heard later in the meeting. So without any other comments, I'd like to present a motion to approve the consent agenda as revised and authorize the execution of the necessary documents by the appropriate county personnel. Is there a second? Any comments? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you. That takes us to tab 8, our transportation agency. We have several items. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. County Manager. We do have several items tonight. The first item is to approve project number E4150-TO number 1 to the 2014 Master Task Order contract with URS Corporation for engineering design services at Cobb Parkway US 41 and Windy Ridge Parkway. The intersection at Cobb Parkway US 41 and Windy Ridge Parkway currently experiences heavy congestion in the peak hours. SunTrust Park and adjacent new development is expected to add approximately 5,000 PM peak trips and 56,800 daily trips to the transportation network. The department recommends approval of a task order to improve operations of the Cobb Parkway US 41 and Windy Ridge Parkway intersection. This includes maximizing the left turn lanes from southbound Cobb Parkway to eastbound Windy Ridge Parkway and developing concepts for a third through movement northbound on Cobb Parkway to Herodian Way. We recommend the Board of Commissioners approve project number E4150-TO number 1 to the 2014 Master Task Order contract with URS Corporation in the amount not to exceed $41,505 for engineering design services at Cobb Parkway US 41 and Windy Ridge Parkway. Authorize the corresponding budget transaction and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Thank you. Commissioner Ott.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Next item, please.
Next item is to approve project number E4160-TO number 2 to the 2014 Master Task Order contract with URS Corporation for engineering design of Cobb Parkway US 41 at I-285 eastbound off-ramp. Cobb Parkway US 41 at the I-285 eastbound off-ramp currently experiences heavy congestion in the peak hours. SunTrust Park and adjacent new development is expected to add approximately 5,000 PM peak trips and 56,800 daily trips to the transportation network. The department recommends approval of a task order to improve the operations of the Cobb Parkway US 41 at I-85 eastbound off-ramp intersection by adding a new flex lane to the shoulder of the I-285 off-ramp, which creates a third right turn lane for use during peak traffic. We recommend the Board of Commissioners approve project number E4160-TO number 2 to the 2014 Master Task Order contract with URS Corporation in the amount not to exceed $151,629 for engineering design of Cobb Parkway US 41 at the I-285 eastbound off-ramp. Authorize the corresponding budget transaction and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Thank you. Commissioner Ott.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Item 3, please.
This item is to authorize the rejection of bids received for culvert repairs at Circle 75 Parkway Culvert, project number E2260. Circle 75 Parkway Culvert is an approved project in the drainage system improvements component of the 2011 SPLOST Transportation Improvement Program. Bids were received on September 11, 2014 from the following companies: Kimmy Construction Company, Inc., $1,842,810. K.M. Davis Contracting Company, Inc., $3,982,879.20. Both bids considerably exceed the project's available budget. Furthermore, the day after the bids were opened, Kimmy Construction Company, the low bidder, notified the county of their intent to withdraw their bid proposal. Since only one responsive bid was received, which exceeds the available budget for the project, the department recommends the bids be rejected. The department will review the project scope and associated budget and will re-advertise the project at a later date. We recommend the Board of Commissioners authorize the rejection of the bids received for culvert repairs on Circle 75 Parkway Culvert, project number E2260.
Thank you. Commissioner Ott.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comment? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Item 4, please.
This item is to approve a revised project framework agreement with the Georgia Department of Transportation for I-75 at Windy Hill Road interchange, state PI number 0012774, Cobb County project number E4100. I-75 at Windy Hill Interchange is an approved project in the thoroughfare improvements component of the 2011 SPLOST Transportation Improvement Program. The project is also an approved project in the Atlanta Regional Commission Plan 2040 Regional Transportation Plan, designated as state PI number 0012774 and ARC project number CO-452. We recommend the Board of Commissioners approve a revised project framework agreement with the Georgia Department of Transportation for I-75 at Windy Hill Interchange, state PI number 0012774, Cobb County project number 4100, authorize the corresponding budget transaction, and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Thank you, Jim. Commissioner Ott.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Item 5, please.
This item is to approve a utility relocation agreement with Georgia Power Company for preliminary engineering and relocation of facilities on Windy Hill Road, project number D4230. Windy Hill Road is an approved thoroughfare improvements project in the 2005 Transportation Improvement Program. We recommend the Board of Commissioners approve a utility relocation agreement with Georgia Power Company in a form substantially similar to the attached and as approved by the County Attorney's Office in the amount not to exceed $315,669 for preliminary engineering and relocation of facilities on Windy Hill Road, project number D4230. Authorize a corresponding budget transaction and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Thank you. Commissioner Ott.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Next item, please.
This item is to approve a utility relocation agreement with Georgia Power Company for preliminary engineering and relocation of facilities on Floyd Road, project number E6010. Floyd Road is an approved safety and operational improvements project in the 2011 SPLOST Transportation Improvement Program. We recommend the Board of Commissioners approve a utility relocation agreement with Georgia Power Company in a form substantially similar to the attached and is approved by the County Attorney's Office in an amount not to exceed $166,037 for preliminary engineering and relocation of facilities on Floyd Road, project number E6010. Authorize the corresponding budget transaction and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Thank you. Commissioner Cupid.
Motion to approve.
Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Next item, please.
This item is to approve a utility relocation agreement with Georgia Power Company for preliminary engineering and relocation of facilities on Walker Drive Extension, project number E6100. Walker Drive Extension is an approved roadway safety and operational safety improvement project in the 2011 SPLOST Transportation Improvement Program. We recommend the Board of Commissioners approve a utility relocation agreement with Georgia Power in the form substantially similar to the attached and approved by the County Attorney's Office in an amount not to exceed $155,976 for preliminary engineering and relocation of facilities on Walker Drive Extension, project number 6100. Authorize the corresponding budget transaction and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Thank you. Commissioner Cupid.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Item 8, please.
This item is to approve amendment number 1 to the utility relocation agreement with Georgia Power Company for preliminary engineering and relocation of facilities on the Windy Hill Road East, project number E4020, and on Windy Hill West, project number E4030. Windy Hill Road East and Windy Hill West are approved thoroughfare improvement projects in the 2011 SPLOST Transportation Improvement Program. We recommend the Board of Commissioners approve amendment number 1 to the utility relocation agreement with Georgia Power Company in an amount not to exceed $91,698.40 for preliminary engineering and relocation of facilities on Windy Hill Road East, project number E4020, and an amount not to exceed $137,547.60 on Windy Hill Road West, project number E4030, for a total net increase not to exceed $229,246. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Thank you. Commissioner Ott.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Item 9, please.
This item is to authorize the installation of a traffic signal at the intersection of Atlanta Road and Spring Hill Road and approve a contract with Brooks, Berry & Haney & Associates, Inc. for the construction of the traffic signal, project number D3010. Atlanta Road and Paces Ferry Road is an approved project in the safety and operational improvements component of the 2005 SPLOST Transportation Improvement Program. We recommend the Board of Commissioners authorize the installation of a traffic signal at the intersection of Atlanta Road and Spring Hill Road, approve a contract with Brooks, Berry, Haney & Associates, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $87,040.65 for construction of the traffic signal, project number D3010. Authorize the procurement of associated signal equipment in an amount not to exceed $31,399.35. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions, and further also authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Ott?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Item 10, please.
This item is to approve a contract with World Fiber Technologies, Inc. for traffic signal rebuilds, Phase 1, project number E5040. Traffic signals is an approved project in the traffic management, traffic signal timing, and planning component of the 2011 SPLOST Transportation Improvement Program. The scope of this project includes replacing wood pole-supported traffic signal displays with mast arm signal displays and upgrading the traffic signal equipment. We recommend the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with World Fiber Technologies in an amount not to exceed $813,110.48 for traffic signal rebuilds, Phase 1, project number E5040. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Gorman?
So moved.
Second.
Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Item 11, please.
This item is to approve a contract with World Fibers Technology, Inc. for traffic signals flashing yellow era, Phase 1, project number E5040. Traffic signals is an approved project in the traffic management, traffic signal timing, and planning component of the 2011 SPLOST Transportation Improvement Program. The scope of this project includes upgrading traffic signal displays to include a flashing yellow era component for the left turn phases at 10 intersections. We recommend the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with World Fiber Technologies, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $624,403.38 for traffic signals, flashing yellow era, Phase 1, project number E5040. Authorize the procurement of associated traffic signal equipment in an amount not to exceed $37,062.50. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Burrow?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Did you breathe?
Not much.
Go ahead and breathe. Thank you very much. Well done. Tab 9 is Public Services Agency. We have 2 items. Mr. Cannon.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners, and County Manager. The first item is for the Board of Commissioners to approve a contract with Integrated Construction and Nobility Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $514,445.41 for the constructions related to the demolition and replacement of the Midway Restroom Building at Jim R. Miller Park. This comes under the 2011 Park SPLOST program. Ask that you authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Thank you. Commissioner Cupid.
Motion to approve.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Next item, please.
Second item is I ask that the Board of Commissioners rescind the approval of a construction contract with Prime Contractors Incorporated in the amount of $605,380 for the construction services related to the redevelopment of a concession restroom building and the construction of a new maintenance building at Terrell Mill Park, and approve a construction contract with the lowest responsive bidder, Diversified Construction of Georgia Incorporated, in the amount not to exceed $606,000 under the 2011 Park SPLOST program. I ask that you authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Thank you. Commissioner Ott.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
This takes us to Community Development Agency tab. There's two items. The first one is it's printed in your book. The second item is the number 18 from our consent agenda item to be heard independently. The first item.
Good afternoon again, Chairman. Dana Johnson with Cobb County Community Development, and I have the chair of our Historic Preservation Commission, Ms. Abby Parks, with me today as well, tonight as well. We are here to present an item to you regarding the adoption of a resolution or consideration of a resolution to provide some policy guidance to staff as it relates to the treatment of county-owned historic properties and cultural resources. Cobb County owns a pretty wide variety of cultural resources. from in our water department, DOT, property management, parks and recreation. And what has being requested is that when we go through and consider a material change of appearance or changing the appearance of a historic property, that we provide the Historic Preservation Commission the opportunity to provide comments and guidance as it relates to the Board of Commissioners, as it relates to the alteration of those resources. The final decision on what to do with those resources will obviously be up to the Board of Commissioners and their judgment in compliance with our state historic preservation law. But this will provide another voice in the process that the Historic Preservation Commission may be able to provide comments and guidance. Abby, do you want to mention anything?
Good evening, and thank you so much. I'm very proud to be at Cobb County and that we are considering this resolution. Chairman Lee worked with the Community Development Department, and they worked through the Historic Preservation Commission and Cobb Landmarks and Historic Society. So it's delightful to see this kind of partnership working to a positive outcome and help us continue to preserve our rich and diverse heritage.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
There were a lot more folks involved with this, I assure you, than myself, but I'm the one that had to listen to you. I mean, I'm the one that had to enjoy your input.
You got to enjoy my company.
I got to enjoy your company.
We worked with
always.
We worked with Mr. Hosack, Mr. Johnson, and of course Mandy Elliott is our preservation planner, and she has always facilitated the action between us and very effectively.
Perfect.
We look good because they work well with us.
Terrific. Thank you. We look forward to continuing a relationship. Commissioners, I'll bring this forward in the form of a motion that we approve the resolution to provide policy guidance on county-owned historic and cultural resources and authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents. There's a second. Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item 2, we're going to be now taking up our original item number 18 from consent, and that is to, well, I'll let you go ahead and do it, Dana. Thanks.
Yes, sir. The second item today on our regular agenda is the consideration of a contract with Slant Media LLC for the development of the South Cobb marketing and branding strategy per an RFP that was released in April of 2014. The purpose of this is to really create a marketing and branding package that we can use to help South Cobb. It will go along with a lot of the other efforts that we're doing with incentives and other improvements to South Cobb to bring new private investment into this area. And by creating a better sense of place, some new marketing materials, and helping to form a new identity and remove any inaccurate misconceptions of the area, I think we'll be able to go a long way to help drive new investment into an area that we've been trying to get new growth for a while.
And what's the recommendation of staff?
We would recommend that you approve the contract with Slant Media LLC in the not to exceed amount of $130,000. And this will be paid through monies through the South Cobb grant, which is an existing funding source with the county.
Thank you. I think we need to authorize corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairman to execute necessary documents.
That would be very accurate, sir.
Thank you. Commissioner Cupid.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I would like to thank Slant Media for its willingness to consider some of the concerns expressed at our last meeting, which was to identify partnership with those organizations that have businesses in South Cobb or diverse organizations serving in South Cobb. I'm pleased to share the development of their partnership with a marketing organization here in the area that has been very active in the community, and just want to highlight their good faith effort to make sure that this is a study that will result in an accurate depiction of what South Cobb is by working directly with those who live and work here in the area. So I'm very pleased to share that, and while we know this tool is going to help drive investment in the area, I really look forward to this tool also helping to reflect the community spirit that's already here and to help us share our message that this is a great place to live. So with that, I would like to make a motion to approve.
Thank you. I'll second the motion. Any comments from the board? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
your help. That takes us to tab 11, which is our public comment. We have nobody speaking. The next tab is 12, which is Commissioner's public address. Before we do that, I failed to do something at the beginning of the meeting, and that is to ask our county clerk to introduce her new partner with her office.
I'd like to introduce the newest addition to the county clerk's office. This is Robin Presley. She's our new deputy county clerk.
Thank you. Welcome, Robert.
We stole her from property management.
We're glad to have you. And Mr. Hankerson, I believe last week, we voted on a new employee who, as you touted, actually showed up. Our new IS director. And who would that be? Is she here today? We're glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Commissioner Ott, your comments, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to start off with sharing with the board and folks watching on television a joint announcement that came from the Cobb Travel and Tourism Board and Lake Point. Over the past 2 months, we've been working very closely with the Atlanta Sports Council, Lake Point Sports, and the Cobb County School District to secure the USBA National Championship. And that stands for United States Basketball Association, which is known for their competitive and affordable programming. They have hosted this tournament for the past 9 years in North Myrtle Beach. With the growth of the tournament, they began looking for a new home and have found one here in Atlanta. This 4-year partnership will bring in over 500 teams of boys and girls grades 3 through 12 from all over the country to compete for 4 days using 40 courts, primarily here in Cobb. Actually, in 2015, all 40 courts will be here in Cobb. The 2015 tournament will be held July 7th through the 11th. It's estimated that it'll be 35,000 room nights over the 4 days. Will be the single largest sporting tourism event in Cobb County. And the most unique thing about this, the Cobb Sports Alliance and the Cobb school system came together, and all the 40 courts that are going to be used are in the county schools.
Great.
So
great news.
Second thing, people probably saw in the news that we had the groundbreaking for the Windy Hill Road projects. And I say projects because there's 5 of them. One of the unique things that the county has put in place for this project is a construction ambassador. If you saw the movie Jerry Maguire, you know what the ambassador is all about. Basically, it's a person who will be on site or in the area every day of the week to answer questions. There will be an office. To find out more about it, go to the DOT website. Also, one of the things that you want to do is, if you don't get my Friday update now, you want to make sure you get it, because every Friday I will be sending out updates through DOT on the construction progress along Windy Hill. It is basically, construction will be going from Powers Ferry all the way over to 41, so you definitely want to know where the latest. And early next year, the county will be adding additional resources in the form of mobile apps that will give you even more information about the construction progress. And finally, this Thursday at 7 o'clock, I'll be hosting a town hall meeting over at Mount Bethel United Methodist Church on Lower Roswell Road.
You had to say hello, Bob. What's that? Jerry Maguire. Okay, Commissioner Gorham. No comment.
No comment after that.
Commissioner
Hey, that's
Cupid.
not how I described it. That's how it was described to me.
Commissioner Cupid.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I first would like to share that I'm also having a town hall meeting coming up this Thursday, October 30th, and that's going to be held at the Ron Anderson Community Center in Powder Springs at 7 p.m. This is the same night as the Dobbins Air Reserve Base Joint Land Use Studies second public meeting, and that will be held at the Marietta High School seminar room. And I encourage those who are unable to attend the first one to attend that second meeting. And that meeting begins at 6:30 p.m. Going on earlier that day is a groundbreaking for Oakmont Industrial Group, which will be opening up a 600,000 square foot job center in South Cobb off of Riverside Parkway. We will be having a groundbreaking this Thursday, October 30th at 2 p.m. and the address is 7875 White Road, and that's in Austell. And you are encouraged to attend. I believe that development is going to be bringing about 300 jobs to the area by 2017. Later on Wednesday, November 5th, after Election Day, there will be a free career workshop offered with the Braves and Goodwill of North Georgia. And this is to help people who want to get back to work or look for a better job. Last year, I believe they helped over 14,000 people through this workshop. And it's going to be at Turner Field at 5:30 p.m. Pre-registration is required, although admission is free. There's also limited child care that will be available for children 5 years and under that, 5 years and above that are pre-registered. To pre-register, call 404-494-1020 or email the Braves Foundation at bravesfoundation@braves.com. Finally, I do want to share a very positive report with respect to my concerns I expressed at a prior evening meeting that Saturday voting was not offered in a South Cobb satellite. I am very pleased to share that with the creative efforts of many people, including our elections director, our public services director, many civic and community leaders, also our Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs director, and a very nice family who had booked an event location, we were able to work out a compromise so that we can have Saturday voting in a South Cobb satellite location. To ask for that request was a stretch because that request was put on the table back in the spring when we had our primary, which was not followed by an extended early voting opportunity that was requested. So when I put that request out there for this fall, I could not believe just the amount of effort and diligence that went into securing a location this past Saturday, October 25th. I did not know what would be the result of all that effort and was quite nervous on that Saturday, but was very pleased when I showed up at the polls and saw the line stretching out the door and was told that the lines had been out the door all day. Not only did we have a successful turnout on October 25th, we had the highest satellite turnout on Saturday, October 25th, with 28% of all people voting that Saturday voting in that particular location. I'm also pleased to share that residents of District 4 had the highest turnout for early voting that Saturday, with 38% of all people voting that Saturday coming from District 4, which means not only did we utilize our satellite location, but that we utilized other locations throughout the county to vote on Saturday. So I cannot express how pleased I am for those who were active in obtaining that location to be willing to not continue to do things the same way, but to think about how we can look at our policies and adjust how we do things to adapt to changing civic need and demand. And I couldn't be more grateful. One lesson learned is that oftentimes resources are put where the anticipated demand is, where anticipated numbers are. And my concern was that even though looking at past track records that South Cobb did not have the same early voting turnout as other areas, I knew that having this opportunity would be greatly valued by those who lived in the area. And we could have just looked at the data and said it wasn't worth it, but we were willing to look at access and opportunity, and through that, it was amazing to just see the numbers that resulted. So again, I just want to say thank you, District 4 voters, you did it. I couldn't be more pleased, and I hope that we continue to be actively engaged in making Cobb the best that it can be through our participation. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anything further?
No, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Worrell.
Thank you.
I would first like to thank the Daughters of the American Revolution for allowing me to say a few words at their marker rededication ceremony last week at Harrison Park, and thank the Cobb County Parks and Rec Department for their assistance with the new marker, and also for allowing me to share with them in keeping our American heritage alive. I'd also like to thank Mount Bethel United Methodist Church and School for inviting me also to attend their upper school consecration and groundbreaking this past Sunday on Post Oak Trip. It was a beautiful day. The weather couldn't have been better for another groundbreaking in Cobb. Also, this Thursday, while Commissioner Ott and Commissioner Cupid are having town halls, I'll be at the second public workshop for the Dobbins Air Reserve Base Joint Land Use Study, and it is this Thursday, October 30th at 6:30 at Marietta High School, 1171 Whitlock Avenue. We need your input to protect the viability of current and future missions at Dobbins while accommodating community growth, economic health, and protecting public health and safety. For more information, you can visit dobbinsjlus.com. And last but not least, I'd like to recognize Steve McCullers, our Water System Director, who's with us tonight, and his department. Congratulations, Steve and staff. The U.S. EPA has recognized the Cobb County Water System as one of the 2014 WaterSense Partners of the Year for their commitment to promoting water efficiency and strengthening the drought resiliency of communities across the country. The Cobb County Water System was named the Promotional Partner of the Year. The system's rebate program for WaterSense labeled toilets contributed to a decrease in the county's annual average daily water use by 10 million gallons per day compared to 2010. This is the third WaterSense Promotional Partner of the Year award for our system, which also promoted WaterSense campaigns in its Water Saver quarterly newsletters and via Twitter with the Fix a Leak and Shower Better hashtags. So congratulations, Cobb County Water. Thank you.
Are you
That's all I have.
advocating tweeting from the shower? Is that what I?
And also, don't forget to vote next Tuesday, or
Oh,
early
please,
voting
yes.
is through Friday of this week.
Thank you. Thank you. I have just a couple announcements here. Today we had a ribbon cutting on the Georgia Department of Veterans Services Marietta Field Service Office down on the Powder Springs Station. I learned today that it was the first time in 60 years, 60 years since we've had an office here in Cobb County. And Cobb County represents the county with the second largest concentration of veterans. So for us not to have an office probably was something that was needed to be addressed today. It was addressed. We had the ribbon cutting, and I know that it's going to be a great place for veterans in Cobb County and their families as they work through issues that might come up. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick is some folks have seen, it's been referenced to me, along 75 North on the west side of the road, there's been some building going on, some tree clearing, and some a lot of pylons being built at this particular time, and wondering what that is. That is part of the Georgia Express Lanes Northwest Corridor project that the state of Georgia, through the Department of Transportation, will be constructing between now and 2018. Clearly, between now and 2018, there'll be an occasional lane closure or shoulder closure. So I would encourage everyone to go to www.511ga.org to sign up for their newsletter and get more information so that you can be aware of what's coming on with that project. It's going to be a huge project. It's going to be here for a number of years. But when it's done and open in 2018, we're going to have just a phenomenal system as we help commuters coming from Cherokee and up further north down through Cobb and again on a reverse commute. So we ask you to continue to be aware of those items going on. And as Commissioner Burrell indicated, November 4th is our election day, and we hope that you will show out and show up and vote at that item, or if not, if you can't do it earlier. Mr. County Managers, any other?
No, sir,
A lot of good stuff today. A lot of good stuff tonight. So thank you very much for being here. We are adjourned.
you.